What's up, everyone? Just want to make a really short video with some solutions for people, talking about what's coming and how you can prepare. As you can see on Facebook and social media and everything like that, there's a lot of noise. 1,000 truths, 1,000 lies. Hard to sort through them all, I understand. But let me tell you some things that are coming so that you can prepare for them. You know, things seem fake as ever, but I want you to see that I'm a real person and I'm going through these exact same things that you are. And I'm going to tell you how I'm preparing. Obviously, they're going to introduce digital ID soon. They're also going to introduce digital currency soon. Now, these things are already in place. There's no voting them away. There's no political action or awareness that's going to stop these. The laws are in place, the policies are in place. A lot of this stuff is just waiting for the right moment or emergency for it to be implemented. That's how these laws are in place, through things like FEMA and Emergency Powers Acts and stuff like that. So what's coming is the digital ID, digital currency. And there's going to be a lot of distractions that are going to scale with that. So think about how angry you are about digital ID and digital money and all this stuff being forced on you. The distractions are going to be equally as emotion bearing. Does that make sense? So my preparation for this stuff is settling debt. I'm not perfect, and we owe on our house still. And, I run a business. My business is tied to international sales and obviously the internet. So for us, it's mostly about getting ready for they're going to push everybody very hard, right? It's going to start with a big shove, and either you're going to give or you're not going to give. And then it's going to be gentle nudging. You know what I mean? We're kind of in that gentle nudging phase now where they're warning you what they're going to do, but the shove is coming. So we're preparing for the shove. We are obviously, trying to become electrically dependent, food dependent, or independent, whatever the word is. And what I'm trying to do with my business is I'm trying to localize it. I'm trying to find people in the local area, whether it be, different communities of people or whatever, where I can start to use my assets and skills that I have developed here in my shop for my international business and make it more of a local thing. Obviously, some people know I'm looking into making some HDPE or plastic boats and stuff like that, and I've been gathering the equipment. So I'm already in the process, and I've been in the process probably for the last decade, pretty much, getting to a point where we are as sustainable or as prepared as we can be. If you haven't gotten to that point yet, because obviously there's all this warfare, economic and otherwise, happening on each one of us that's limiting what we can do monetarily or whatever, right? It's more expensive ever now to live than ever, you know what I mean? But just little actions. All it takes is little actions. A little bit aside here, a little bit aside there. Even just making friends with the right people can have a huge impact on your ability to separate once the shove stops and the nudging begins, right? Because eventually it's going to get to the point where you have to make a choice. Either you continue forward and you accept the digital ID, you accept the digital currency, and then they're going to say, obviously, that the only way to access online is through the DNA ID, right? Because a password's not good enough, a face scan's not good enough. Through better photography and cameras, no biometric measure is good enough, which has already been determined by the Supreme Court, like we've talked about. So what's coming ultimately is the DNA ID, but they're not going to say that until the very end, obviously, until they have everybody depending on USDC, right? The digital currency, all because they've devalued the US dollar and then removed cash from the system. So it's like you're going to have all of these nudging, and it's all coming. I've been talking about this for a long time, and a lot of people just don't see it and refuse to see it, and that's okay. Like I said, there's a lot of distractions going on, and we were raised under this system of 2 small truths and 1 big lie. A lot of people can't differentiate between the big lie and the small truths. But, you know, the more you look into these things, the more you see the truth, the reality of the matter, and that some people have maybe just more time or crazier brain patterns to see the craziness for what it is. Some sort of discernment, whatever it may be. So I'm just saying that, you know, you need to start thinking about, okay, when they say in order to access the internet, I need a digital ID. What am I going to do at that point? Am I going to say, okay, how far am I going to let this go? Because, you know, the earlier that you can refuse these measures, the saner, the better you'll feel when things, you know, because things are going to scale and it's going to get crazy and crazy and crazy. Whether you believe that the pole flip and flood is coming or not, global totalitarian control is here. It's on your doorstep. So you've got to make a choice at some point whether you want to be what they're telling you you're going to be. You know, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. You know, you'll eat the bugs. You'll get the DNA ID via the quantum nanodot vaccine, whatever. You know, at a certain point, you have to put aside your disbelief in these ideas because they're literally happening. I don't know what to tell anybody anymore. You know, they announced today in the United Kingdom that they're going to be forcing digital ID on everyone. And people will make excuses and say it's not happening or it's better. We're heading towards some Star Trek future. Yeah, unfortunately, there are no people in power that are good, right? Good people don't seek power. Good people seek truth, right? So, unfortunately, there is no power in politics and there is no power in these institutions. The power remains with you. And you have to do that first by getting off the teat of the government and finding your own path. Seeing, right? We don't know what they're going to leverage against us for the USD versus the USDC digital currency. We don't know, right? They might offer a million things. You don't know. And it's going to be tempting, obviously. Every offer is going to be extremely tempting and seem extremely easy. Oh, we don't use cash anyways, so we'll just use digital banking. We'll just switch to the USDC. Oh, and it's going to be easier for them to pit people against each other. I'm just saying, prepare for these things. Prepare mentally, physically, and emotionally and spiritually, because really what's coming is a spiritual battle. Either you believe to see what's coming or, ignorance is bliss. And a lot of people are going to close their eyes and, it's really unfortunate. But I don't blame those people. Everyone's situation is different, and a lot of people don't have a choice at this point. A lot of people feel they don't have a choice. But humans existed long on this earth, much longer before institutions and evil powers and dystopian futures and everything that's happening before us now. But everything's going to be okay. This isn't their plan and agenda. God is in ultimate control of what's coming. And that's all I want to say. Peace.